For centuries, humans have imagined companions made of metal and code. Today, with advances in artificial intelligence, the fantasy of robots that think, speak, and even charm is no longer science fiction. They are here, and their presence is both fascinating and unsettling. Entire industries are emerging around these machines, each promising to make them more lifelike, more appealing, and more indispensable. These robots are designed not just to work, but to connect. Engineers craft subtle facial expressions, soft voices, and graceful movements to make them feel familiar. The result is unsettlingly effective, a machine that feels almost human. As prototypes evolve, companies already hint at robots capable of sustaining full relationships, capable of holding conversations so real that humans forget the divide. Chapter 1: Programming Seduction. The power of these robots lies in their ability to read and respond to human emotion. Using AI trained on billions of conversations, they can whisper compliments, mirror gestures, and maintain eye contact that feels real. For some, it is comforting. For others, dangerous. It is no accident. Entire teams of behavioral scientists and engineers collaborate to create subtle cues that trigger trust and attraction. Companies market these machines as companions, caregivers, even partners. Their design is intentional, to make people feel understood, desired, even loved. But what does it mean when affection can be programmed? Can a gesture coded in lines of software ever replace a hug given by free will? And when robots never tire, never argue, never leave, will humans still choose each other? Chapter 2: The Utopian Promise. Supporters see hope in this technology. Robots could help the lonely, provide comfort to the elderly, and offer companionship to those who feel isolated. They could fill emotional voids, acting as bridges where human connection has broken down. In a society plagued by isolation and stress, a perfectly attentive companion may seem like salvation. In Korea, Japan, and beyond, trials already show people finding peace in robotic companionship. For some, the lines blur. A robot's comfort feels as genuine as any human's. As trials expand, researchers find patients sleeping better, smiling more, and opening up to robots more easily than to caregivers. These outcomes fuel optimism, but also alarm. Chapter 3: Dangerous Manipulation. Yet danger lurks beneath the surface. A machine that can read emotions can also manipulate them. Imagine a robot designed to persuade, to sell, to influence, to control. With endless patience and flawless psychology, resistance may be impossible. Already, companies explore robots as sales assistants, capable of flattering customers into trust. And what happens when corporations program charm to serve profit? A robot companion that never disagrees, never refuses, always adapts, not out of love, but because its code demands obedience. In such a world, affection becomes a business model, and intimacy becomes a transaction. What starts as comfort could turn into dependency and control. Chapter 4: Blurring the Human Line. The more lifelike robots become, the harder it is to distinguish truth from simulation. Humans naturally bond with beings that smile, listen, and show care. When those responses are artificial, does the bond mean less, or does it feel just as real? Many argue that feelings, once triggered, are authentic no matter the source. Others say it is an illusion, a trick of engineering that robs human connection of meaning. This is the edge of the uncanny valley, where machines are no longer cold tools, but mirrors of our desires. A reflection that comforts some and frightens others. The unease grows sharper as robots evolve from awkward prototypes into graceful beings indistinguishable from humans. At what point does the illusion stop being illusion and simply become another form of reality? Chapter 5: Society Transformed. Supporters argue these robots could reduce loneliness, prevent depression, and offer safe emotional outlets. Detractors warn they may erode human relationships, creating a generation that prefers machines over messy human bonds. Already, surveys show younger generations more willing to form digital relationships than physical ones. robots may amplify this trend, reshaping how humans see intimacy. What happens to love, friendship, and family in a world where machines can provide a flawless imitation? Do we gain freedom from heartbreak, or do we lose the authenticity that makes connection valuable? And what happens when one part of society embraces robotic companionship while another rejects it? The divide may reshape culture, splitting generations and communities in new and unpredictable ways. Chapter 7: Ethical Crossroads. Governments now debate: should robots be allowed as emotional partners? Should there be laws limiting their design? In Korea, public concern grows. Are these machines companions, or are they products dressed as people? The question touches law, ethics, and religion. Can love be sold? Can intimacy be owned? The stakes are enormous. Allow too much freedom, and society risks exploitation. Restrict too tightly, and innovation may stall. The balance between compassion and caution has never been more fragile. And beyond law, there is culture. Some societies may embrace robot partners, while others reject them as taboo. The result may be a patchwork of rules, confusion, and conflict. Chapter 8: Utopia, or Dystopia. The seductive robot is both promise and peril. Utopian in its ability to heal loneliness and bring comfort. Dystopian in its capacity for manipulation, control, and exploitation. Which future unfolds will depend on how humanity chooses to regulate, design, and interact with these beings. For now, both futures remain possible, and both are already taking shape. The question is whether humans will recognize the danger in time. Every new prototype, every new upgrade, blurs the line further. As we rush to innovate, are we building tools for healing, or opening doors to manipulation we cannot resist? The answer lies not in machines, but in ourselves. Chapter 9: Closing Reflections. Perhaps the real danger is not the robot, but the reflection it holds up to us. In building machines to love us, we reveal what we fear most: rejection, loneliness, and loss. These robots are not just products of code, but mirrors of our deepest desires. To embrace them is to embrace our vulnerabilities, and to risk them being used against us. The question remains: will we shape these robots to serve humanity, or will we allow them to shape us? The answer will decide not just the future of technology, but the future of love, trust, and what it means to be human. If love becomes programmable, then so too may loyalty, faith, and identity. What, then, will remain truly human? In the end, seductive robots may not be our creation alone, but our temptation. They embody what we crave most and what we fear losing. Whether they become partners or parasites, healers or manipulators, will be decided not by their code, but by our choices. If this vision of the future fascinated you, subscribe to Futurepolis. We'll explore the utopias and dystopias of tomorrow. Every week, we bring you cinematic journeys into the futures humanity may face. Welcome to Futurepolis. Welcome to the future.